Alright guys, welcome to PlayStation News, Rumours and Leaks. Timestamps are available in the description below if you wanted to jump straight to the bits that you're interested in. Let's start off with PlayStation 5 exclusive Stellar Blade, which is yet to release, but there's already talk of a Stellar Blade 2, so a sequel. Developer ShiftUp seems keen to explore possibilities if its comments in a recent interview are anything to go by. However, the studio made it clear that it needs to sell enough copies of the upcoming game first before it makes a move for a sequel of the game. The comments came from ShiftUp CEO Hyung-Dae Kim in a recent interview with Famitsu. Kim was quizzed about Eve's age and if players will find out how old she is as the game progresses. Kim responded by saying that those who are curious about Eve's age should play Stellar Blade and suggested that if there's enough demand for another entry, we may find out the character's age in a sequel. It's possible that Kim's comments were made in jest, but it's equally possible that Sony will order a sequel should the first game do really well. At the very least, ShiftUp doesn't seem opposed to the idea of working on a second installment of the game. Stellar Blade was originally announced as a multi-platform game until Sony stepped in, and that's all thanks to PlayStation indie boss Shuhei Yoshida. A demo is currently available via the PlayStation Store, and if you haven't played the demo, I would highly recommend you give it a try. It feels and plays great. Well, that's my opinion anyway. It feels really good. It's about 90 minutes long, an hour and a half long, and offers a glimpse of some of the game's combat and story, although we're only just barely scratching the surface on the demo, and from what I've played so far, I really like it, and the game should be, I think, a really big hit with the PlayStation community. Let me know your thoughts on the Stellar Blade demo if you've played it. Has it done enough to tempt you into buying the game, or were you buying the game regardless of the demo? Let's move on. When Sony PlayStation releases the PlayStation 5 Pro, any games that are enhanced for the PS5 Pro will be labelled with a PS5 Pro Enhanced label. This will ensure people who buy the game for the PS5 Pro, they will know that the devs who have been working on this particular version of the game are going to enable the game to play better, or look better, or feel better, or have some kind of extra bells and whistles which are only available on the PS5 Pro. Similar to how it promoted games on the PS4 for the PS4 Pro, a badge is said to feature saying enhanced for PS5 Pro if a studio applies just one of a few different enhancements to its pre-existing or future titles. So to earn the PS5 Pro label, so if for games to have the PS5 Pro Enhanced label on the box or within the game, a developer must apply one of the following upgrades to a game. So a game must be either a better target resolution on PS5 Pro than one of the fixed resolution on the standard PS5 model, an improved target maximum resolution on a PS5 over a variable resolution featured on the base PS5 system, increased frame rate target on PS5 Pro that's better than the fixed frame rate seen on the original PS5, and the use of PS5 Pro ray tracing features. If a development team applies any of those enhancements to its game, then the enhanced tag will come into use for the game. However, in general, it's suggested Sony wants their own internal teams and third parties to offer a graphical mode exclusive to PS5 Pro that combines an upscaled 4K resolution through the use of its DLSS-like PlayStation Spectral Resolution System. PlayStation Spectral Resolution System with a constant 60 frames per second. Hopefully that makes sense. Ray tracing effects would then either be added or enhanced on top of that. According to previous Insider Gaming reporting, this exclusive graphics mode will be possible on PS5 Pro due to a GPU that's up to 3 times faster than the base model with faster RAM. With Sony reportedly targeting a holiday 2024 launch, although it's not been confirmed officially by Sony, it said developers under the PlayStation Studios banner have actually had access to the PS5 Pro dev kits since end of last year, I think 2023, September 2023. Third parties have received their Pro kit in January of this year, and that's why we're seeing so many leaks and reports of the specs, because it's gone out to a wider audience. Sony's PS4 Pro saw the upgraded system launch with enhanced titles for Dishonored 2, Battlefield 1, The Last of Us Remastered, and Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. After release, the majority of the first-party titles supported the improved system, and many other developers went back and patched in upgrades for past games. In principle, this sounds great. I've already mentioned before on several videos that I will be getting the PS5 Pro regardless of whether I need it or not. I will be getting one. If I can beat the scalpers, I will get one day one. I understand that many devs are going to go back and look at their existing games, and they'll hopefully release a patch for the game. Now, they're likely going to charge $10. Now, it would be great if they do it for free, but I don't see that happening. I see it a charge, about 10 quid, £10 in the UK. What I really don't want and really hope doesn't happen is all the games that we've had come out so far, like Returnal, Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon, even some of the older ones like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us 1 and 2 remastered, and others like Final Fantasy, Rise of the Ronin, Stellar Blade, which is out in a few weeks. What I really don't want is for all those games to then start re-releasing with the PS5 Pro patch over the coming year. I really hope this is not what Sony has planned up until early 2025. Rinse and repeat of games that we've already had multiple releases and re-releases, remakes, remasters. Are we now going to see a whole batch of games with patch upgrades, and that's going to tie us over until early 2025? I really hope that's not the case, because I'm honestly getting a bit fed up with the same games being re-released over and over again. I wouldn't mind all this happening. I wouldn't mind the patch upgrades and stuff like that if we had some new IP, some original games. Rise of the Ronin is great. It's a new IP. Looking forward to that. Stellar Blade, yeah, fantastic. Looking forward to that. That's great. Now, if original games come to the table enhanced for PS5 Pro, and alongside the new games and the new IP, if I wanted to, I could revisit some of the previously mentioned games and dip in on my PS5 Pro, knowing that I'm going to get an enhanced version. Okay, I might have to pay $10 for it. If I could do that as well as get new games and new IP, I absolutely do not mind this. But please, Sony, give us some new IP and something original to look forward to. What are your thoughts on the PS5 Pro enhancement? Will it tempt you to pay extra for an enhanced version of the game? I'm saying it's going to cost extra. It might be free. And if that's the case, that's even better. That's amazing if it's free. But just what Sony's been doing over the last few years, charging for upgrades and things, I think it probably makes sense for them to charge $10 for an upgrade. What about games already released? Would you go back and pay $10 for, let's say, a God of War Ragnarok PS5 Pro enhanced version? I mean, it does sound tempting, doesn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the description down below. So let's move on. Jim Ryan has officially left the building. Jim Ryan, 30 years at Sony Interactive Entertainment, is now over. Having climbed the ladder of the company all the way right to the top, his 5-year stint as CEO has now drawn to a close, with Hiroki Totoki temporarily taking over until a permanent replacement is found. And speaking on the latest official PlayStation podcast, Ryan has one last interview in which he comments on the PlayStation platform's evolution, his career, and his thoughts on the PS3 Boomerang controller. It's well worth a listen to if you get a chance. Hop onto the official PlayStation site and have a look at the podcast. Perhaps the most interesting, though, are his thoughts on how PlayStation is doing as he leaves the office behind. Jim Ryan goes on to say, "I'd say right now we're at the top of our game. PlayStation 5 is well on track to be our most successful console ever across multiple vectors. I think the games and the gaming experiences you see on the PS5, led by PlayStation Studios, are the best that we've ever seen." He continues, commenting on the quality and the quantity of the games. "The number of games we've published so far on PlayStation 5 at this point in the cycle way exceeds anything that we've ever done before, and with all the investment that we've put into the studios and all the acquisitions that we've made, this is only going to accelerate and snowball. We sit in a position of strength, and I think the future is bright," he concludes. Ryan also says that the thing he's happiest about leaving behind is a really strong leadership team of excellent individuals. So as far as he's concerned, he's leaving PlayStation in safe hands going forward. What do you make of Jim Ryan's leadership whilst at the helm over the past few years? Let me know in the comment section down below. But Jim Ryan has been through thick and thin whilst at PlayStation. He must be doing something right if he's been there for over 30 years. perhaps he wasn't the right person to lead the business given his direction and the decisions about live service games. However, overall, his contribution to Sony PlayStation, I think behind the scenes, to those people who he's worked closely with and the teams he has supported, I think he will be missed. What do you think Sony need now from a new CEO? What do you think they need, considering where they are right now? For me personally, I think they need a CEO to come in and start communicating with its core audience, its fan base. I think that's one of its top priorities. The CEO needs to put in place good communication practices whereby the PlayStation fan base are getting regular monthly updates from PlayStation, whether it's constant dev diary, so each month maybe they go to a different internal studio and they do a dev diary and we get a kind of an update on what the devs are doing with a little bit of gameplay, right? Then next month you go to the next studio. So one month is Guerrilla Games, next it's Santa Monica Studios, then it's Naughty Dog, and we go through this. We cycle through each studio every month. It's a different one. Right? Monthly updates from PlayStation. We need that. Snippets of information from the business and yearly PlayStation showcase. They also need to be present physically at some of these events like the Tokyo Game Show or maybe the Game Awards or the Summer Game Fest. Right? Just go out and meet the audience. God knows we've missed it. Certainly interesting times ahead as Sony continues its search for a new CEO. Let's move on. We finally have some news on Silent Hill 2 Remake. Finally. The Silent Hill 2 Remake has been rated. And you know what that means, right? It means that we should have an announcement of its release date very soon. The Korean rating board recently rated the game, and now the North American rating board, which is the ESRB, has followed suit. This was spotted by Wario64 on X, formerly Twitter. The game has received a mature rating. The description describes some of the game's content, including cutscenes and an illustration depicting instances of violence and or blood and gore, characters impaled, a character suffocated to death with a pillow, and enemies with body parts sewn together. Following a recent trailer of the game, the president of developer Bloober Team claimed that it wasn't an accurate representation of the game, and he's referencing the trailer here in an interview with Polish investor news channel called Inwestories.tv. The video, which appears to have been taken offline now, but was spotted and transcribed by Eurogamer Poland, Bloober Team president Piotr Babiano was asked about the reaction to the trailer. Babiano replied that the latest trailer wasn't representative of the game Bloober Team is working on, and that he understood the negative comments being directed at the game based on the trailer. I wrote those negative comments myself, Babiano reportedly joked, saying, "In all seriousness, we're not responsible for the marketing side of the game," referring to Konami. "This is entirely the responsibility of our partner," and he's referencing Konami here. Certainly this trailer does not reflect the spirit of the game. It's not the spirit of either what it used to be or what we are creating now. We're trying to fully reflect this romantic vision about the game which was debuted 22 years ago. We think that when players see the real gameplay, the real game, they will judge it in a completely different way. Now that's got me excited. Thinking Silent Hill going back to its roots, enhanced for the PlayStation. I'm excited to learn more about that. In all honesty, we need more information and a proper gameplay of the demo of what Silent Hill 2 is supposed to be, right? Give us more information about Silent Hill 2 Remake. Show us a proper demo. Show us actual gameplay of what the Bloober Team are working on. The game blows hot and cold. 1 minute it's coming out, the next we don't hear anything for a long time. Then it's Konami's fault for marketing. It just sounds a little bit messy. But what I can say, the positive thing that I take away from this is that the game has been rated in 2 regions, in Korea and North America. And when that happens, you know the game is practically finished. They're just working on polish. The game is usually 3 to 6 months away, unless there's something major, drastically wrong during the polish phase, which almost never happens. They're 3 to 6 months away. So looking forward to when this lands. I think it will be 2024. It needs to be really, hopefully enhanced for PS5 Pro. Hope this lands during the Halloween week, which will fit in perfectly, and that would be brilliant. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the topics discussed in the video today. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next PlayStation News, Rumours and Leaks video.